Sometimes I feel like the richest man in Babylon, and I've done my best, so everything's alright inside. Every morning I rise, I stare at the sun. I know it is a blessing. So when the evening comes, I lift up my eyes to the hills. I'm blessed, oh man. With my two hands in the air, as far as I can. Sometimes I'm lost and far from home, but I'll find my way. I follow my heart, I know I'll be found someday. While I'm lost, I learn and live. What do you say? Let's have a good time until that day. Oh, every morning I rise, I stare at the sun. I know it is a blessing. So when the evening comes, I lift up my eyes to the hills. I'm blessed, oh man. With my two hands in the air, as far as.
Good morning, Raiderland. It's your boy ZZ Rich, and this morning we have a very exciting show for you today. You know, stay tuned.
I can, yeah. My two hands in the air, as far as I can. Oh, every morning I rise, I stare at the sun. I know it is a blessing, yeah. Lift up my eyes to the hills, I'm blessed, oh man. With my two hands in the air, as far as I can. Yeah, as far as I can. I can, yeah. My two hands in the air, as far as I can.
Fostering rehabilitation, entertainment, education. Free FM has made the dedication on behalf of this new generation. Free FM 88.9.
Victory, when you're winning, it's a sweet story. And when you're not, then the war is bitter. You're quick to call me a sinner. Only judge I know my history.
This is Free 88.9 FM, your free prison radio.
I'm Janella Presti.
My experience, you know what I mean? Yes. My experience, you know what I mean? Experience is experience, but why my experience? My experience comes with jail sentence, not that experience.
Oh, Victory, when you're winning, it's a sweet story. And when you're not, then the war is bitter. You're quick to call me a sinner. Only judge I know my history. So we have to give the king glory. Like a tree planted by the river, I smile with the sun. Can't keep it down, cause we have to overcome.
Sleepless nights under pressure, got a lot on my mind. What would life be without all the struggles of mine? Can't sleep, some steam trees for peace of mind. I can't sleep, but these sweet dreams do ease my mind. I say, what's success without a little sacrifice? With every downfall, yes, you have to ever rise. Gain the world to lose your soul, no, but not gonna pay that price. I forgive, thanks for life, the morning sun, there's so
victory. When you're winning, it's a sweet story. Victory. When you're winning, it's a victory. Victory. When you're winning, it's a sweet story. And when you're not, then the war is bitter. You need to call me a sinner. Only that I know my history. So we have to give the King glory. Like a tree planted by the river. I smile with the sun. Can't keep it down, cause we have to overcome.
Positively clear when I light up on ritual. Tell you selfish ways we not go beg them for no sponsor. Crabbing and barrel will always try to pull you under. Pagans try to break you, wanna kill you, make you stronger. Clear my thoughts with a little meditating. Out of nothing, opportunities creating. King Selassie, I don't stop, I get the praising. For eternity, we keep the fire.
Victory. When you're winning, it's a sweet story. And when you're not, then the war is bitter. You quick to call me a sinner. Only that I know my history. So we have to give the King glory. Like a tree planted by the river. I smile with the sun. Can't keep you down, cause we have to red light. Stop sign. Doors closed. I never giving up, I'm doing good, but only the best is good enough.
The best is good enough. The best is good enough. The best is good. Best is good enough. I know it's sticky out there, you know pretty out there. We're bridging and betray, with the streets got no love. When the pagans and forsake, we it can't mash me up. Come and pray to the Father daily, I am a lift me up with. No quick to judge and send me hype and all of summer change. I wonder if I tune in DJ rise and make a change. Well, if for that you imagine when me buy my moderate. Father protect me and he bless me with the
victory. When you're winning, it's a sweet story. And when you're not, then the war is bitter. You're quick to call me a sinner. Only judge I know my history. So we have to give the King glory. Like a tree planted by the river. I smile with the sun. Can't keep it down, cause we have to overcome. What you say?
Fostering rehabilitation, entertainment, education. Free FM has made the dedication on behalf of this new generation.
Alive!
Hallelujah.
Hi, this is Kenisha, and you're listening to 388.9 FM.
Skanking, grooving, under the pressures of life and it. Under the pressures of life and it tough. Now stay down, mama, time pick it up. Under the pressures of life and it. Under the pressures of life and it tough. Now stay down. Under the pressures of under the pressures of under the pressures of life and it tough. Now stay down, mama, time pick it up. Mama, daddy down, full style, strictly up, full vibes. I pick it up when the bills, them, the rent and the mortgage due. Yeah. When me chalice, when your best friends are gone and it's only you. Yeah. Like a pass, turn up the music. Skanking sweet. Everybody wanna feel like free. Forget your troubles and you rock with me. You know feel a reggae music sweet. Yeah. Skanking sweet. Everybody wanna feel like free. Forget your troubles. together. So make we sing together. And who say life no order? And every man got this struggle. I beg you to help me, Lord. Skanking sweet, everybody wanna feel like free. Forget your troubles and the rock with me. You know feel a reggae music sweet, yeah. Skanking sweet, everybody wanna feel like free. Forget your troubles and the rock with me. You know feel a reggae music sweet, yeah. Skanking sweet, we skank it till our morning come. Until the day when my troubles are gone. Hallelujah, we're grooving in our jam. We're grooving all my troubles away. Skanking, everybody wanna feel like the troubles and the rockin'. You know feel already music sweet. Under the pressures of your life and it tough. Now stay down, mama, time pick it up. Now bother with the down, full style, strictly up, full vibes. Now pick it up when the bills, them, the rent and the mortgage due. Yeah. When me chalice, when your best friends are gone.
Good morning once again. It's your boy DJ Rich, and today on another exciting show of Society Interaction on Free 88.9 FM, we have another banging topic that we like to discuss today. And you know we always have the exciting and current conversation, you know? And the main thing that have everyone talking right now in the institution is the Privy Council. A lot of persons don't really know what is the Privy Council and the history, the functions, and its membership. So today on Free 88.9 FM and your hot show Society Interaction with your host DJ Rich, we will be having a very, very deep and educational discussion today about Privy Councils and what it's all about. So, the Privy Council was originally the executive arm of English government, formed as early as the 13th century. Although its power declined as political authorities shift to the cabinet in the late 17th and 18th centuries, formally it remained an advisory body to the monarch, and its members are known as Privy Councillors. They can style themselves the Right Honorable and are required to take a special oath. Councillors are appointed for life by the king on the advice of the prime minister. They are individuals who hold or have held senior political, judicial, or ecclesiastical office in the UK or in the Commonwealth region. All cabinet members are Privy Councillors. So once you're part of the Privy Council, you're considered Privy Councillors. And as are others by custom. For example, the Archbishop of Canterbury and York, the Speaker of the House of Commons, the Lord Chief Justice of England and Wales, and are recently the First Minister of Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Today, the main function of the Privy Council is to advise the King on giving formal effects to proclamation and orders in council. Illegal instruments which are made under prerogative or structured powers. Such instruments are formally enacted by the king with the advice of His Majesty Privy Councillor, although in the reality the Crown acts on the advice of ministers. Orders in council which have the force of law may be legislative, executive, or judicial, providing for everything from the constitution of an overseas territory to the setting up of a new government department or the outcome of an appeal to the judicial committee of the Privy Council. Privy Council meeting takes place on average once a month. Only those Privy Councillors summons, usually cabinet members, by the Lord President of the Council attend this meeting. There are three, the quorum being three, the king presides and the meeting is attended by the clerk of the Privy Council, whose authenticates the monarch's assent to measures with their own signature and records the name of those present. All stand during the meeting. The monarch says approve or referred in response to each item of business. Only a meeting of Privy Councillors attended by the monarch or councillors of state constitutes a council, otherwise is a committee, of which there are several. The most important of these is the judicial committee, while other standing committee advise on matters relating to Channel Islands, universities, and royal charters. Larger meetings of the Privy Councillors are rare. A fuller council only convenes to proclaim a new monarch or upon the announcement of a reigning sovereign intentions to marry. So what is the Privy Council? The Privy Council is an advisory body to the monarch, and its members are known as Privy Councillors. It is one of the oldest part of the UK's constitutional arrangement, with origin dating back to at least the 13th century. It operates under the Royal Prerogative. The Interpretation Act 1978 defined statutory reference to the Privy Council as to the Lords and others of His Majesty Most Honourable Privy Council. In Walter's terminology, the King heads the signify part of the UK Constitution, which includes the Privy Council, and the Prime Minister is efficient part, which includes the government. And although its authority declines along with that of the monarch by the late 20th century, the Privy Council was a dignified but still functional part of the Constitution. One former Lord President has described its continued existence as more or less a constitutional and historical accident. A Privy Council has no published standing orders, although it is given some functions by statute. It does not enjoy a high public profile. The constitutional academics, Paul F. Scott, has characterized the Privy Council as a black hole at the center of the British Constitution, with the consequence that any attempt to explain its functions tends towards vacuity. Originally, the Privy Council was the executive instrument of the sovereign, but as power was transferred to ministers of the crown and the cabinet, accountability to parliament, its authority declined. As the historian Christopher Hibbert has observed, the fiction of the Privy Council authority has been preserved. Its theoretical authority sustained by the requirements for all members of the cabinet, sometimes referred to as the executive committee of the Privy Council, to be appointed Privy Councillors. The present Privy Council of the United Kingdom dates from the 1st of January 1801. Before that date, there exists a Privy Council for the Great Britain and a separate Privy Council for Ireland. Prior to the 1708, meanwhile, there exist three distinct Privy Council for England, Scotland, and Ireland. The Privy Council for Ireland continued to function until 1922, when it was succeeded by the Privy Council for Northern Ireland, also known as the PCNI. No further appointment have been made to the PCNI since 1973. The UK Privy Council advised the monarch on the carrying out of its duty, including the exercise of the royal prerogative and the other functions assigned to the sovereign by acts of parliament. These functions include the legislating for the British overseas territory. Now, when we talk about the legislating for the British overseas territory, we're talking about the 18 Commonwealth countries. Okay? Ascending to legislation from the Crown dependency. Transferring functions between and creating new government department. Transferring functions from the UK government and parliament to devolve executive and legislature. Issuing royal proclamation, for example, those declaring bank holidays, new coinage, or dissolving parliament. Granting and, if necessary, amending royal charters. Appointing members to certain professional bodies and approving the rules of those bodies. Acting in the form of the judicial committee of the Privy Council as the final court of appeal for the Crown dependency, overseas territories, and certain Commonwealth countries. Now, as I said before, when we're talking about overseas territories and certain Commonwealth countries, we're talking about countries like Jamaica. Now, in oral evidence to the Select Committee on Public Administration in 2003, the then conservative MP Williams Haggard described the Privy Council as the cloak that covers a variety of important activities. Many of the Privy Councillors' decisions are expressed through orders in or of council. These have the force of law. The ministerial head of the Privy Council office in the Lord President of the Council. He or she usually attends cabinet, whether as a full member or by invitation. Now, we're going to talk about the history of the Privy Council. Now, the English Privy Council has its origin in the Cura Regis, which was the court of English monarchs between the 11th and 13th century. It exercises legislative, judicial, and executive functions with the king as its absolute ruler. Nevertheless, decisions were reached following consultation with members of the Cura, which includes barons, members of the royal household, great officers of state, and bishop. Over time, different functions of the Cura begins to separate, although the distinction between them constantly blurred in practice. A separate treasurer emerged during the 19th century, while the common law courts, courts of chancery, House of Lords, and Privy Council became distinct institutions in the 13th and 14th century. The Privy Council is generally regarded as the successor body of the Cura Regis and emerged at the end of the 14th century. As the constitutional lawyer A.V. Dicey observed in an essay written in 1860, the Privy Council was nothing less than the history of all the greatest institutions which made up our national constitution. Our parliament and our law courts are but the outgrowth of our council. In its history, it's seen how not only institution but ideas assume their modern form. With the accession of King Richard in the 1377, the Privy Council or King's Council became a more defined body. At this time, members were appointed on an annual basis, although later that tenure was extended to the duration of the monarch's life by the reign of Henry the sixth of the council usually. Now, consisted to the chancellor, the Lord Treasurer, the keeper of the Privy Seal, the chamberlain, 2 archbishops, and between 10 to 15 other members. So, by the reign of Henry the Fourth, the council usually consists of the chancellor, the Lord Treasurer, the keeper of the Privy Seal, the chamberlain, 2 archbishops, and between 10 to 15 other members. An oath bonded members of the Privy Council to advise the king according to the best of their cunning and discretion. To keep the King Council secret and to help in the execution of what should be resolved. This was not, however, required of all members. In 1386, the Archbishop of Canterbury was unwilling to be sworn, while the Prince of Wales was excursed in 1410 because of his highness and the excellence of his honorable person. Now, the first Tudor monarch, Henry, between 1485 and 1509, reformed the Privy Council as an instrument of crown authority and attended so gradually that it became reluctant to meet in its absence. The post of president of the council was also created, as were the Council of Wales and the Marches, 1473, and the Council of the North, 1484, both on the model of Privy Council. So we take a quick short break here on Society Interaction. I'm your host, ZJ Rich, and you're listening to Free 88.9 FM. Don't you touch that dial. We'll be right back.
Pressures of your life and it tough. Now stay down, mama, time pick it up. Now bother with the down, full style, strictly up, full vibes. Now pick it up when the bills, them, the rent and the mortgage due. Yeah. When me chalice, when your best friends are gone and it's only you. Yeah, like a split, turn up the music. Skanking sweet, everybody wanna feel like free. Forget your troubles and the rock with me. You know feel a reggae music sweet, yeah. Skanking sweet, everybody wanna feel like free. Forget your troubles and the rock with me. You know feel a reggae music sweet, yeah. Skanking sweet, for every pain there's a melody, yeah. For every trouble there's a harmony that brings everything together. So make we sing together. And who said life no order? And every man got this struggle. I beg you to help me, Lord. And let me overcome my troubles. Skanking sweet, everybody wanna feel like free. Forget your troubles and rock with me. You know feel a reggae music sweet, yeah. Skanking sweet, everybody wanna feel like free. Forget your troubles and rock with me. body balance danking steez. Yeah. I'm gonna be skanking.
Hi, this is Kenisha, and you're listening to Free 88.9 FM.
Fostering rehabilitation, entertainment, education. Free FM has made the dedication on behalf of this new generation. Fostering rehabilitation, entertainment, education. Free FM has made the dedication on behalf of this new generation. Free FM 88.9.
To fight for my yearnings. Fear in my mind is a warning. Pray to the one you're relying. I've been wandering all day. I tried to be fine, but I can't be. The noise in my mind wouldn't leave me. I tried to get by, but I'm burning. I'm behind my mind, it runs. All these thoughts of trouble me. Fighting to give up my pain. Fighting to be on my lane. My mind running to the other side. When it's time to leave my life, then it tries to take me out. Tell you what I need, right? Yeah, I really need time now. I need a free mind now. I really need more now. I need to free my mind now. I really need time now. I need a free mind now. I really need mine now. Yeah. This is the peace that you cannot buy. Send me love that you cannot mix. One is the joy that you cannot waste, and the other one price that you cannot fix. This is the peace that you cannot buy. Finding a way where you cannot see. Man with this system, he cannot pray. I need to find relief. But behind my mind, it runs. All these thoughts have trouble me. Fighting to give up my babe. Fighting to be on my lane. My mind running to the other side. When it's time to leave my life, then it tries to take me out. Tell you what I need, right? Yeah, I really need my love. I really need a free mind.
Fire, baby. Fire, baby.
I need to free my mind now. I really need time now. I need a free mind now. I really need time now. Let me free, freer than the open mind, farther than the eyes can handle, freer than the ocean now. Yeah, so set me free. Now I need to find release. Set me to the open sky. Now I need to free my mind.
Fostering rehabilitation, entertainment, education. Free FM has made the dedication on behalf of this new generation. Free FM 88.9.
For the past 5 days, did you check on me? Did you check on me? Did you check on me? Did you check on me?
fostering rehabilitation, entertainment, education. Free FM has made the dedication on behalf of this new generation. Free FM 88.9.
I've been drinking more alcohol for the past 5 days. Did you check on me? Now did you look for me? I walked in the room, eyes are red, and I don't smoke banga. Did you check on me? Did you check on me? Now did you notice me? Nobody will know the paranoia. Oh. Cause I put a smile on my face, a facade you can never face. And if you don't know me well, oh, you won't see how buried I am inside my grave. Inside my grave. Cause you see people don't really know you. They don't really know you. Cause you see people, they don't really know you. They don't really know. I've been drinking more alcohol for the past 5 days. Did you check on me? Now did you look for me? I walked in the room, eyes are red, and I don't smoke banga. Did you check on me? Did you check on me? Now did you notice me? Oh, Holy Father, they drive over my head. Cause they make you not leave me take. Oh, Holy Father, yeah. Oh, make you try to understand. Yeah, who can know that for you? Cause you see people don't really know you. They don't really know you. Cause you see people, they don't really know you. They don't really know. I've been drinking more alcohol for the past 5 days. Did you check on me? Now did you look for me? I walked in the room, eyes are red, and I don't smoke banga. Did you check on me? Did you check on me? Now did you notice me? I've been drinking more alcohol for the past 5 days. Did you check on me? Now did you look for me? I walked in the room, eyes are red, and I don't smoke banga.
Hey, this is Kenisha, and you're listening to Free 88.9 FM.
To go bow for the result, nothing to do. We don't cast, last. Now everybody go to breakfast.
Yummy.
You go bow for the result, nothing to discuss. Cause I go win by without and without any doubt. I'm a me happy adult. I'm not gonna feel the chance out. I'm a mind that's with the talk. I put my life into my job and I know I'm in trouble. She manipulate my love. I know holy and I know that get both. Like the Baba Frayo, my ayo, don't cry yo. I need people and shadow. 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 I did Port run and kill Soboma. I did try to buy moto, want Toyota Corolla. My feelings been they swing like Django Lover. Feelings been they swing like Django Lover. Now you crash your Ferrari for Lucky Bona. Now so much to remake could have been all over. My feelings today swing like Django Lover. Feelings today swing like Timbani.
Careful enough. Careful enough.
Nothing for you and if I do anything you want me to do. Timbani got you, at you. Come on, why don't you defend this suit? Why you say I did nothing for you and if I do anything you want me to do? Maybe another time, maybe another life. You will be my wife and we'll get it right. Young cast, last. Now everybody go to breakfast. Have to say bye-bye, yo. Bye-bye, yo. To the love of my life. My ayo, don't cry, yo. I need people and shadow.
Fostering rehabilitation, entertainment, education. Free FM has made the dedication on behalf of this new generation. Free FM 88.9.
Oh, you're me, you're me, you're me, you're me.
I need you in the morning, but I need you now. I beg you.
Your boy ZJ Rich.
Only you feel on my body.
Free 88.9 FM.
Only you feel on my body. You don't need no other body.
Say now me the mess up in mind.
This is Society Interaction.
Say your body talk to me nice. Say now my love you didn't need for your life. Yeah, our love no be lie. Say yeah we did together, yeah, day and night. Yeah, if I leave, you go by. Yeah, if you leave, I go stroking your body, baby.
I want to give a massive shout out to all the inmates inside here and all the hard-working correctional officers.
Girl, you want me. I just wanna let you know. Hope every day
you don't need no other body. You don't need no other body.
Till the morning.
Also, I want to give a huge shout out to the Computer Lab Massive.
Give me all you need. Give me all you need. Give me all you. Give me all you need. Give me all you need. Give me all.
Make I give you all you need. Every touch you need. Give you all. Make I give you all you need, baby. Yeah.
You don't need no other body. You don't need no other body. Only you feel on my body. Only you feel on my body.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't need no other body.
Girl, I want you there. Girl, I want you there. Promise to treat your love fair. Whoa, 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 whoa. When we touch, I will connect. Whoa, 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 whoa. Share this love, I no regret. Whoa, whoa, yeah, yeah.
Welcome again to Society Interaction on Free 88.9 FM. It's your host ZJ Rich, and we were just having a very exciting and educational discussion. We were talking about the Privy Council. So now we're going to be talking about the functions and powers of the Privy Council. Now, the Privy Council has a broad range of executive and legislative function, which reflects its long history. The Privy Council is not a deliberate body. It does not meet to discuss matters on which there is a disagreement. Broadly speaking, it is concerned with the formal exercise of prerogative power upon ministerial advice, as A.V. Dicey wrote in 1860. The power of the crown are, in a sense, the power of the council. The cabinet is more focused on policy and administration. Now, decisions of the Privy Council mainly exist in the form of orders in or of council, a form of delegate or secondary legislation. Orders in council requires the king personal approval at a meeting of the Privy Council. Thus, the king in council, orders of council do not require the personal approval of the monarch and can be made by the lord of the Privy Council. That is, by a certain number of ministers of the crown who are Privy Councillors. Now, orders in council. There are 3 types of orders in council. The statutory orders. These involve the exercise of powers delegated by statute to the king in council and have the same effects and or published in the same way. As other delegates legislation, they are laid before Parliament and may be subject to the negative or affirmative procedures. Examples include orders transferring responsibilities between government departments. Prerogative order. These are made under the inherent power of the crown to act on matters for which Parliament has not legislated. They became primary legislation without being laid before Parliament. Example: orders including prerogative Parliament. The judicial orders. These are the formal means by which decisions on the appeal to the judicial committee of the Privy Councils are promulgated in the form of advice to the sovereign. Examples include appeal from a Commonwealth country or a crown dependency. So the judicial order, these are the formal means by which decisions on appeals to the judicial committee of the Privy Council is promulgated in the form of advice on the sovereign. Examples include appeal from a Commonwealth country, and I repeat, a Commonwealth country is countries of the Caribbean, including Jamaica. Now, orders in council always say when and where they were made. If a Privy Council meeting is held at the Buckingham Palace, then orders generally begins at the court at Buckingham Palace. But orders may also be made wherever the king happens to be in residence. The drafting of orders approved by the king in council is undertaken by the relevant government department. They are then sent to the Privy Council office, the PCO, for checking and formatting. The PCO also checks any claim, statutory power for an order, or if it is made under the royal prerogative, whether it falls within one of the traditional area of the prerogative. If relevant, written evidence of ministerial approval is also required. Now, Statutory orders in council. Section 1 of the Statutory Instrument Act 1946. The 1946 Act applies where power to make, confirm, or approve orders, rule, regulation, or other subordinate legislation is confirmed on His Majesty in Council or on any minister of the Crown, either by this act or any act passed after the commencement of this act. Some statutory orders are made under acts which predates the 1946 Act and are not therefore necessary statutory instrument. Examples are orders made under the Naval Marine Pay and Pension Act at the 1865, which determines the pay of the Navy, and the Burial Act 1853, which provides for the closure of churchyard which no longer have rooms for burial. The prerogative order in council. Prerogative orders are used to dispatch business that Parliament may not want to concern itself with, or whether there is no legislation allocating responsibility to a particular minister of the Crown. Prerogative orders do not require a minister to make a statement of compatibility with the European Convention on Human Rights. They are published as annexes to the annual volume of statutory instruments. Although there are neither numbered nor statutory instrument, as a 1932 report on ministerial powers observed, a royal prerogative may be regarded for our purpose as what is left of the original sovereign power of the Crown to legislate without the authority of the House of Parliament. Thus, the Crown can legislate by order in council for a newly conquered country and can regulate trade and commence in time of war. The best known modern prerogative order in council is the order dated in the 16th of February 1917, establishing a rigid black date of enemy territory, commonly called the Second Reprisal Order. The essence of this kind of legislation by the king in council without the intervention of Parliament is that it is originally and in no sense delegated. The fact, and in modern constitutional practice, it is a fact that the king in such legislation is advised by its cabinet does not modify these views. Orders of council. Orders of council do not require personal approval by the king, but can be made by a specified numbers of the lords of the Privy Council, that is, ministers of the Crown. These can also be statutory or prerogative. Whether statutory orders of council are also statutory instrument depends upon the wording of the parent act or church measures under which they are made. Act of Parliament giving a power to the Privy Council to make an order of council will usually specify the quorum of the Privy Council required to exercise that power. Unusually too, there the act is silent, and this point then the quorum is 3. All orders of council are expressed to have been made at the council chamber, Whitehall, although in fact they are all approved in correspondence and no actual meeting take place. Statutory orders of councils generally concern the approval of legislation or rules for or lay appointment the following statutory legislative bodies. Now, I repeat, the statutory order of council generally concern the approval of legislation or rules for the following statutory regulatory bodies: the General Medical Council, the General Dental Council, the General Optical Council, the General Chiropractic Council, and the Osteopathic Council. The Architect Registration Board, the Royal College of Veterinary Surgeons, the General Pharmaceutical Council, the Health and Care Professions Council, the Nursing and Midwife Council. Now, Prerogative Council, Prerogative Order of Council concern the approval of amendment to the bylaw or statutes of chartered bodies. That is organization established under a royal charter. Now, the Privy Council power to approve these orders of council is provided for in the organized charter. This section will now examine particular aspect of the Privy Council legislative role. Now we're going to talk about the British overseas territories. The academic Paul F. Scott has described the Privy Council as a constitutional firewall which allows the UK to maintain 2 constitutions in operation simultaneously, one domestic and another imperial. Historical English common law distinguished between territories which were settled, to which English law applied without further action, and those which are ceded or conquered, in which existing laws applied until altered. The UK Parliament retains an unfettered right to legislate for the British overseas territory, which is known as the BOTS, in any territory. In practice, however, it does not often do so. Instead, laws are made for the BOTs not by the King in Parliament, but by the King in Council. The royal prerogative includes the power to make constitutionals for the BOTs. This has been argument by statute. The relevant legislation for the Caribbean overseas territories, except Angola, is the West Indies Act 1962 For Angola, it is the Angola Act 1980. And for Bermuda, the Bermuda Constitution Act 1965. Statutory powers to make orders in council for Ascension Island. The British Antarctic Territory, the Flank Island, the Falkland Island, the Pitcairn, the South Georgia, and the South Sandwich Island, the Tristan da Cunha are in the British Settlement Act 1885 and 1945. Now, for the St. Helena, the statutory basis is the St. Helena Act. The St. Helena Act 1833, and for the sovereign base areas and the Cyrus Act 1960. All constitution orders in council are made under statutory powers except those made under the Angola and the Cyrus Act. Must be laid before both House of Parliament. The constitutions of Gibraltar and British Indian Ocean Territory, however, were made solely by prerogative order in council, with the prerogative to make ordinary law explicitly reserved in the relevant orders. Now, in 02, and the then Foreign and Commonwealth Office agreed to send draft constitutional orders in council to the Commons Foreign Affairs Committee before they were made, except an occasion it deems. Inappropriate occasions of urgency or where confidentiality is imperative. The constitutional expert Rodney has argued that changes to a constitution of overseas territory are better embodied in order in council than in act of parliament. Now, this is not because they are unimportant, but because they are almost invariable the outcome of an intergovernmental negotiation. That if it were open to Parliament to delete or modify individual provisions of the Constitution, to delicate balance might be upset, and the political consequence could then be very serious. In June 2022, the Virgin Island Constitution's interim amendment orders 2022 was laid before Parliament but not brought into force. However, should efforts to tackle local corruption prove ineffectual, the Foreign Secretary can instruct the governor to make a proclamation in the BVI Gazette appointing a date that the order will come in force. This could place the British Virgin Islands under a form of direct rule from Westminsters. The Crown dependency. Now, the Privy Council also has a role in extending UK legislation to Jersey. and is the Isle of Man. Now, as well as granting royal assent to legislation from those crown dependency, this is done by a statutory order in council known as a permissive extent clause, which is included in the relevant act of parliament. This allows extension at a future date. Now, when a rare occasion, it is agreed that a UK act should apply directly, then a prerogative order in council direct that the UK act be registered in the royal courts of each court dependency. Now, primary legislation passed by a legislature in the bailiwicks of Jersey and the Gunners and the Reserve Isle of Man legislation requires royal assent. This is usually given effect by a prerogative order in council, following scrutiny by the relevant Privy Council. The UK Minister of Justice examines each piece of legislation to ensure there is no conflict with the UK international obligation, including the European Convention on Human Rights, or with any fundamental constitutional principles. Having done so, it advised the King in order to make an ascending order. It does this by sending the Privy Council office the seal law together with confirmation of ministerial approval. Final approval is sought from the Committee for the Affairs of the Channel Island. A recommendation to withhold assent is where. In 2008, however, the then Justice Secretary Jack Straw rejected the first proposal for a new SARC legislature approved by the Chief Pleas. This consisted of 16 elected deputies and 12 rather than the original 40. 12 feudal landholders. Straw declines to recommend the proposal law for royal assent on the basis that it was inconsistent with basic democratic principles. When a revised plan was resubmitted by the Chief Pleas, this time comprised 28 elected councillors, the Justice Secretary judged it to be acceptable and recommended it for its royal assent, which is duly received. Now, a similar process applied to all Isle of Man legislation until the royal assents to Legislate Isle of Man Order 1981. This provides for submission of bills to the Lieutenant Governor for assent. Only reserved bills, those dealing with defense, international affairs, or the royal prerogative, still reach the Privy Council via the Minister of Justice. That said, proposed legislation is still discussed in advance by the Isle of Man and Minister of Justice. Before a bill has received royal assent, the House of Keys can consider suggestion made by the Privy Council and make such amendment as the House considers desirable in respect to such suggestion. Now, the civil contingency. Under the Emergency Power Act 1920 and 1964, a state of emergency could be declared by royal proclamation, after which statutory orders in council could delegate to ministers of the crown the necessary power to preserve the peace and security supplies. 12 such proclamations were made between 1920 and 1974, all in relation to industrial action. Under the Civil Contingency Act 2004, there is no longer any requirement for the state of emergency to be proclaimed. Under Section 1(4), it is for a minister to decide whether such a state exists. Under Section 20 of 1 and 2, meanwhile, emergency regulations may be enacted by statutory order in council and by senior ministers if that would involve harmful delay. Now, separately, the Armed Force Act 2021 may be renewed annually by statutory orders in council, but is not to have effect beyond the date of 2026. I repeat, the Armed Force Act 2021 may be renewed annually by statutory orders in council, but is not to have effect beyond the end of 2026. Territorial governance. Now, statutory orders in council have long been used to transfer or delegate functions from the Crown, UK Parliament, or government to devolve or newly independent legislatures. Northern Ireland, Section 69 of the Government of Ireland Act 1920 allowed the King to make Irish transfer orders to Irish functions from Westminsters to the devolved Parliament of Southern and Northern Ireland. Now, the Parliament of Southern Ireland did not function as intended, and instead, the other 26 countries of Ireland became an independent dominion called the Irish Free State. Now, the Irish Free State Agreement Act 1922 provide for the transfer by orders to council of functions to the provisional government of the Free State. Now, the Free State was later formally proclaimed by the King in council, after which George V. summons the Prime Minister, Lord Lieutenant of Ireland, that other members of the cabinet for a special Privy Council meeting to congratulate them on having solved a problem that have baffled English statesmanship for 700 years. Following the prorogation and then abolition of the Parliament of Northern Ireland in 1972 to 73, the Northern Ireland Act 1974 required that legislation on subject formally within the competence of Stormont could be laid before the UK Parliament in the form of draft or made affirmative orders in council. This reliance on statutory orders was criticized in that it did not allow for amendment or significant parliament scrutiny. On December 2nd, 1999, the department transferred Assignment of Function Order Northern Ireland 1999 and Department Northern Ireland Order 1999 were made under the Northern Ireland Act 1998 and thus restored developed institutions to Northern Ireland. Similarly, statute orders in the council transferred function from Westminster to the developed Scottish Parliament and then National Assemblies for the Wales. Now, Scotland Act in 1998 provide that certain delegates' powers are to be made by order in council, and in all cases the order in council must still take the form of a statutory instrument, and therefore it will be subject to scrutiny by one or both legislatures in London. Now, Section 30 and 63 other concern modification to the legislature competence and the developed functions of the Scottish Parliament and Scottish Government respectively. These can be either permanent or temporary. Most notable, the Scotland Act 1998 modification of Schedule 5 Order 2013 conferred upon Holy Rod the explicit authority to hold an independence referendum until the end of 2014. The type of legislative scrutiny for different orders in council is set out in Schedule 7 of the 1998 Act. Section 30 and 63 orders, for example, are made subject a Type A procedure. This requires that the instrument be laid in the draft before both House of Parliament, UK Parliament, and the Scottish Parliament for the approval by MPs, peers, and MPs. Orders subject to the Type B procedure do not require any laying before or approval by the Scottish Parliament, while those made under Type D need only be laid before and approved by Holy Rod. Now, the Privy Council has some residual function in relation to the established Church of England. Every 5 years, prerogative orders in council dissolve the convocation of the province of Canterbury and York, thus triggering dissolution of the General Synod. Another prerogative order direct the Lord Chancellor to issue writs calling together new convocation. Now, the King in council is also involved in the sale of some church land, declaring a vacant archbishop, or the reorganization of a diocese. For example, the General Synod passes the Church Island Measures 2020, which made provision for a statutory order attaching the Channel Island to the Salisbury Diocese. Parliamentary boundaries. Now, statutory order in council are used to implement the recommendation of the UK 4 Boundary Commission. Now, under Section 4 of the Parliament Constitution Act 1986, as amended, once the final 4 report have been laid before Parliament, the government is responsible for drawing up a single draft order to implement the recommendation. This must be submitted to His Majesty in Council for approval as soon as reasonable, practicable, and no later than 4 calendar months following the laying of the reports. Neither the government nor Parliament can make changes previously. Either house could veto and draft order, but this is no longer the case. Once the order is approved and made, the new constitution boundaries are used following the next dissolution of Parliament. Now, the validity of such an order, once made, cannot be called into question in any legal proceedings. Royal proclamation are another means by which the King in Council can make decisions. Royal proclamation are formal notice issued to the people of the UK by the sovereign. Like orders in of council, these have the force of law. So I repeat, the royal proclamation are formal notice issued to the people of the UK by the sovereign. Like orders in or of council, these have the force of law. The drafting of proclamation is the responsibility of the relevant government department. Once received by the Privy Council Office PCO, draft proclamation are checked for terminology. On receipt of the final versions, the PCO prepares the proclamation for the King's signature, arrange for the appropriate gazette notice, and enter it onto the list of business for a meeting of the Privy Council. Now, we have come to the end of an exciting show on Free 88.9 FM. You can check us out on your favorite radio station, and also we'll be coming to you on the internet very soon, and also on YouTube. I'm your host, DJ Rich, and this is Society Interaction. Have a beautiful day and be good to your friends and family and loved ones. By the Royal English Trading Company. The last Stuart Governor, Christopher Monk, 2nd Duke of the
Hi, this is Kenisha, and you're listening to Free 88.9 FM.
Fostering rehabilitation, entertainment, education. Free FM has made the dedication on behalf of this new generation.